Welcome to AI Decoded, where knowledge prepares us for the future. If you would like to support our channel, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification. The lesson from Ukraine is profound and deeply unsettling for the proponents of digital sovereignty. In a real-world crisis, the centralized fortress is a death trap. True resilience lies not in concentration, but in distribution. It lies not in hoarding data within one's own borders, but in leveraging a geographically diverse, redundant network. What saved Ukraine's digital state was a last-minute, desperate pivot away from the sovereign cloud model. Just before the invasion, the law was changed. In a frantic effort, government ministries and tech volunteers began a massive migration. They moved their most critical data and services out of the country, distributing them across the public clouds of providers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud. This concentration of computational power is a proven model for leadership. The United States, for example, is home to 172 of the world's top 500 supercomputers. These machines, concentrated in a few key national labs and research centers, are the engines of American scientific and military advancement. Data that was once stored in a vulnerable server room in Kyiv was now scattered across data centers in Poland, Germany, and the United States. It was physically beyond the reach of Russian missiles and digitally resilient against cyber attacks. If one data center was compromised, the system would fail over to another, thousands of miles away. But this concentration creates an inherent and dangerous vulnerability. It means that the crown jewels of a nation's intellectual and strategic power are all stored in a handful of locations. Each one of these facilities becomes an irresistible target. A single successful cyber attack, a single act of physical sabotage, could cripple a nation's ability to innovate and defend itself. This act of decentralization, of embracing the global cloud instead of a national one, is widely credited with saving Ukraine's government from digital annihilation. It allowed the state to continue functioning, to pay pensions, and to deliver services, even as its physical territory was under assault. This isn't a hypothetical risk, it's a strategic reality that was thrown into stark relief by the brutal logic of modern warfare. Before the full-scale invasion in February 2022, Ukrainian law was a textbook example of the sovereign cloud philosophy. It mandated that all government data be stored on servers physically located within Ukraine's borders. The intention was security. The reality was catastrophic vulnerability. A centralized, on-premise government data center in Kyiv would not have been a fortress. It would have been a priority target for the first wave of Russian missile strikes. The state's entire digital infrastructure, citizen records, tax information, government credentials, could have been wiped out in the opening hours of the war. It allows a government to enforce its own data laws, to dictate who has access, and to ensure that the nation's secrets remain within its borders. Control is the objective, and centralization appears to be the most direct path to achieving it. The second is a policy shock. A unilateral decision by a U.S. tech firm to drastically change its pricing, to alter its terms of service, or to restrict access to its foundational AI models could hold a nation's entire digital economy hostage. The dependent nation would have no alternative, no recourse. It would be forced to comply. We will see a move towards hybrid models. Federated learning will allow AI models to be trained across multiple decentralized data sources without pooling the data in one place. The rise of on-device AI will further challenge the centralized cloud paradigm. Harnessing this distributed power is the real path to resilience. But like the Maginot Line, it creates a false and dangerous sense of security. It looks backward, not forward. It completely ignores the real, modern threats of a new kind of warfare: supply chain disruptions, the vulnerability of concentrated targets, and the strategic trap of technological dependency. The pursuit of digital sovereignty is essential, but the current strategy of centralization is a paradoxical and self-defeating path. Nations are not building digital fortresses. They are leasing prefabricated castles built on land owned by a handful of foreign tech titans and secured with keys that can be taken away at any moment. Faced with this stark reality, forward-thinking nations will begin to pivot. The future of digital resilience is not more centralization, it is intelligent decentralization. The conversation will shift from building a single national computational vault to fostering a robust distributed digital ecosystem. True sovereignty will not be found in a single centralized cloud, but in the resilience of a decentralized, diverse, and truly independent digital ecosystem. Anything else is just an illusion. The sovereign cloud is a 21st century Maginot Line. Like the infamous line of French fortifications, it is an impressive, expensive, and imposing defensive structure. It is built at enormous cost to defend against the threats of the last war, the fear of losing control of data to foreign powers. The goal is to seize control of the nation's data, to protect citizen privacy, to secure critical infrastructure, and to build a domestic AI industry free from foreign influence. It is a quest for digital resilience, for a future where a nation's destiny is forged by its own code and computed on its own silicon. The frantic, expensive pursuit of centralization, a strategy that, instead of building resilience, creates powerful new dependencies and catastrophic single points of failure. The story of the sovereign cloud is not one of liberation. It is the story of how nations, in a desperate bid for security, are making themselves less safe than ever before. The logic of centralization seems, on its surface, unassailable. Why scatter your most precious digital assets across a chaotic landscape when you can gather them in one place? A single state-of-the-art facility, ringed by physical security and defended by the world's most advanced cybersecurity, is theoretically easier to protect than 1,000 disparate servers. The goal was to create a secure, homegrown cloud environment for France's most sensitive government and corporate data. Yet, the initial flagship offerings, managed by trusted European partners like Capgemini and Orange, came with a critical caveat. Under the hood, they were still running on the infrastructure of Google and Microsoft. The sovereign French cloud was, in reality, a licensed and managed version of an American one. These structures are presented as beacons of national strength. But look closer. Are they truly fortresses? Or are they exquisitely designed, high-value targets? They are called sovereign clouds. In the European Union, in the Middle East, in capitals across Asia, governments are pouring billions into these computational fortresses. The promise is seductive, a declaration of digital independence in an age of technological uncertainty. This isn't an anomaly. It is the core, hidden truth of the sovereign cloud strategy. In the global race for digital independence, nations are investing billions not in freedom, but in gilded cages. This is the sovereign cloud paradox. Consider France's Cloud de Confiance initiative, the trusted cloud. It's a project born from the ambition of European digital sovereignty, a direct answer to the dominance of American tech giants. Sovereign cloud paradox. Digital independence challenges around the world. A new symbol of national power is rising from the dust of deserts and the heart of ancient capitals. Gleaming, massive, state-of-the-art data centers. Thanks for watching AI Decoded. Like, share, and subscribe for more insights every week. See you in the next one.